Give me a second, guys.
Madame Winter, vous bon sans faire.
Saya mag sa video na sa kanya. Regardez ça fait ça fait briller, ou même?
Hein?
Ou même?
Non.
Oh, téléphone, ah. Ah. Ça m'a dit, quoi les villes sont sorties là? Non, toujours descendre le volume, yo. Pourquoi on mon téléphone noir? Pourquoi parler pour nous? Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching. Sorry, you're gonna hear a little noise. I'm eating while I'm making the video. As you can see on the title, I'm gonna make a couple of, we're gonna talk about a different topic today. Before we get to the main topic, that 62-year-old woman who got killed by her convicted murder husband, who she met online. You know how like in this country there's social media and dating app where people can meet people from jail, and I think that's how she met him. But my thing is, with all the men that's in church, all community place you can go to, you go meet somebody is already in jail for killing four people. That's crazy. I mean, like you didn't do your due diligence, but I'm not gonna judge her because she's already passed, and it's clearly she have lack of judgment, or maybe she have um too much of good heart. But still, it's a doggy dog world out here, man. You gotta be more careful. Definitely gotta be more careful. Cause not being careful, not got this old lady, just this old lady taken out. Before we get to that, let's see what's going on today in today's street. Um, let's start with today's biggest news, man. This morning, before I go to work, I saw this. Let me see if I can find another place that's more bold that I can post about. Um, I saw this. I'll get back on that. I saw this. I know you guys see it. Not too many people happy about it, but we see it. Beside Cassie's situation, this guy was the second biggest person who was giving Didi a hard time when it comes to kiss. He was accusing Didi of doing all kind of things, not just with him, acting like how he was kind of like numb to what's going on to him. He couldn't do nothing. He also talking about how many people, that how many things that be going on at Didi house. That's why that caused the whole fell and already Didi house. But the one his 9 charges, three five of the of three already dropped. So the judge this clears one of the biggest one, a RICO and RICO charges. Let's read some of what the paper have said. On March 24, a New York judge dismissed several claims in a $30 million lawsuit filed by the music producer Rodney, aka Little Rod Jones, against Sean Diddy Combs. The lawsuit, initially in federal 2024, accused Combs of sexual assault, harassment, running a racketeering enterprise. A U.S. District Judge Paul Ucknen dismissed the civil racketeering. That's a big one. Dismissed the racketeering enterprise. U.S. District Judge Paul Ucknen dismissed the racketeering RICO and breach of contract claim, starting that John failed to demonstrating a direct injury to his business or property caused by a RICO violence. So he couldn't prove enough evidence to show how the, what I mean, where did he hurt to? What evidence do you have? He couldn't have proved enough evidence and try to say how did the business hurt you that kind of way. Without enough evidence, they dropped that. And also a certain lawsuit against emotional distress. But the only one that stayed is a sexual assault one, uh, um, as well as trafficking victim property act against Com Global. So that one is good too. Because remember, that one is one of so many women is tracking, talking about trafficking. So that is the second person beside the Jay-Z situation. They could not prove a trafficking, right? Remember the whole thing with the Diddy and Jay-Z situation is trafficking. Now, Lil Riley lawsuit, the second lawsuit that can prove trafficking. How does trafficking? I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. So I'm sorry, I was drinking something. But if two people cannot find the interaction, I don't know how the Fed gonna. I know those judges are different, but we're gonna see if the lawyer, if they're smart, they cannot use this one, the RICO charges and the racketeering trafficking law, use that against the Fed to show, look, how one judge, because those are the reason they couldn't they didn't get Diddy what you call it, bail, because it's the whole trafficking thing and the RICO thing and the business thing that was causing them not giving Diddy a bail. Was this judge able to not found enough evidence? I don't know how the Fed going to able to. I know the only thing they have is Cassie and also new women they're gonna file charge against. The new women who's filing charges, they better have strong evidence, because the only strong evidence they have is Cassie, and then the charges with the new women. I know they got this former singer who accused Diddy of putting hands on her, but she accused Diddy, but she better have a witness, because her co-singer who was in a group with her denied all this thing. So we shall see. Why then did you spend a whole year and a half behind bar, losing all kind of business and stuff like that? I think even if they didn't have acquitted, the cash is still gonna hurt them, but it's just gonna show like, look, in relationship, people go through things, and what did he get to Cassie was horrendous. But you cannot use this video as a way to, like, you know what I mean, destroy people's houses, try to make that man. I'm telling you, and jurors gonna see this. They're gonna use that to tell jurors, look, look, you see how many cases, all those lawsuits, man, and the feds raid my house and just try to make me look bad, right? The Fed raided my house is just trying to make me look bad. But if you look at all those other cases that have been dropped left and right by a different judge, you can clearly see the Fed do not have a strong case. They only want to make me look bad by raiding my house and trying to make it look like I'm some kind of like big time criminal guys. So man, let's hope everything go well for with everything, man. And I'm man. So beside that, what else that happened today? Oh yeah, this come out today. Ray finally, we all know Ray. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I post about Ray. Ray is a Taiwanese fan of Kai Cenat. You know Kai Cenat is one of the biggest streamer in the world. Not the best, but one of the biggest, right? And while visiting Taiwan, Ray was a fan, and right then and there, they gain a friendship to where out of nowhere, he was before while in high school, he decided to stop following with Kai Cenat to they become strong friends, and um, Kai make him become a instrument where he gained a million follower on street and like other platform, and he become famous himself, represent the Taiwanese people. But you know, he be graduate high school and turn 18. And Taiwan, once you become 18, you have to spend a year in the military. That's same as Korea. A lot of Asian countries, a lot of countries that require that um, uh, 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 um, Russia, like a lot of European countries, a lot of because they don't have a lot of male strong military, so they require every citizen, male citizen, once they turn 18, they have to join the army or at least training. You see, like some of the biggest K-Pac, K-Pac have to go through that. But it's unfortunate, but you gotta do what they gotta do, man. But let's send our prayer to him after he posts that him in military. It's been a while. I'm sure like by the end of this year, he should be able to get out unless China and Taiwan is went to war. Which the weird thing is, it could be, and people say it could be any day now. It could be this year. It could be next year. China invaded Taiwan, especially the way they see how Trump is not protected Crimea against Russia. I mean, Ukraine against Russia. So they think United States may not protect Taiwan against China anyway. So we'll see. Besides that, there was another news that happened, bro. Imagine you're in a flight all the way to China, but the pilot made a mistake and got passport for a lot of passengers, so they had to flew. They were halfway there, flew all the way back to LAX to get all those people passport and try to fly all the way. You know that how long it is to go to China? That's almost like 12 hours. But you know what? They only give these people. They only give people $14 for lunch for the next flight. 14 effing dollars. $14 effing dollars. Bro, I know the airline been going through to some stuff, but bro, I need, if it's not mistake, it's not me, it's not as a passenger, bro. I need more than $14. Then if you guys make a mistake, instead of $12, now I gotta spend 16, 18 hours on the air. You don't have that much. That's why a lot of people get blood clots. And that's something I have to deal with. Like me, when I fly forever, bro, I don't know how to deal with it because my ears ringing really loud. The air pressure on my ears, because I'm deaf in one ears, it causes a lot of pressure. Something I have to figure out how to work with when I get older, man. But yeah. So in other news, there was, we know the whole Big U and this guy Luke Cannon, who out here spreading all the tea and No Jumper and DJ Academy podcast and different podcasts. Doing one of the episodes, he talking about an episode. Let me see if I can play it. But they didn't have it. But he talked about how one time, right, how Big U and his team tell him to go press Meek Mill while in LA, and Meek Mill, I guess they have money, had to call Rick Ross to wire him $50,000 before they can let him go. Well, it happened like between 2 days ago, and I guess yesterday wasn't enough, so it take almost 48 hours before Meek Mill finally respond to that. And Meek Mill don't have the best writing, bro. Meek Mill doesn't have the best writing. This guy must be using the story to confuse this indictment, because I never see him before. I wouldn't put him on the. I put him. Say, I would put him to God's test on the spot. I never even met him. What chain? Because on my chain, some shit. LOL. Watch all 300K watches and 300K vibe. Mill allegedly held by hostage in LA for 50K and ransom. Bro. Bro, I don't know which one is true or not. Well, I don't know if it's true or not, but Mill is denying it. Said nobody ever pressed him in LA. But I don't, bro. We all know Meek Mill. Meek Mill doesn't work. I'm not sure about the story. I wasn't never sure about the story. One reason is not now, but not ever. Have you ever seen Meek Mill working all along? Meek Mill is not 6ix9ine running out of money, and bro, Meek Mill always got 10, 20 nigga with him, especially when he was wet hot. That's one of the where Meek Mill say but he spent a lot of money, because Meek Mill always travel with a bunch of nigga with him. Philly nigga to be exact. How the fuck you gonna press Meek Mill when Meek Mill always have no less than 5 nigga with him? And you know those niggas always got. You see what happened to Safari. I know LA is LA now, but I'm sure every real rapper who's not from LA, who's about that life, besides, West in peace to Pop Smoke, which I'm sure he had friend with him, but he probably didn't take, like, he just got a little lazy to go to LA with by yourself. Now, we'll see what happened with Source Walker and Say So P. Even though they was trouble with people, People ran shot at him like crazy, and eventually one person ended up dying, which is SOP. Rest in peace. You do can travel with many people with you, but you still can get caught up. You see what happened with we see what that happened with Kodak Black in LA doing a Grammy Award show, where he ended up getting a shot in the foot, right? So we know, even if you got a group of nigga with you, sometimes you depending on where you are, you get locked and you don't have your, you know what I mean? You don't got a chance to put up your gun back and start shooting. Because once niggas start shooting, before you shoot back, you just try to like dive in, try to hide, you know what I mean, from for bullet. You try to hide from bullet. Hide from bullet first, shoot later. So, especially if you're not in your hood, because sometimes you don't know what the law in a city, different city is. I say that to say, could that happen? Of course. But I don't know. Unless they're surrounding them and his nigga with gun inside the club, because you know sometimes you got guns, but you go in the club, you're like you cannot bring your guns in, and all the nigga, and then you know you got tried because the people from LA was working with the security. Well, the LA gang able to come in with sneaking gun in, but you and your people could not sneak in gun in, and now you all surrender. Not surrender, surrounding. But 50K, I know when most people go in the club, they spend that in one and popping bottle alone. So we're not able to have 50K on him and spend him in a bottle, and then have to call me Rick Ross to buy 50,000. That still is not making sense now. Now, if you think about it, but let's move on to the next story, guys. Let's move on to the next story. Mm, bro, this guy said $10 million.
For the rest of your entire life is not enough money. Let's debate, please. I would love to get canceled about this. I stand on it forever. Okay?
Bro, when you already have million, bro, you don't know, bro. Living regular life where people only make average income, bro, is 35,000. I think now it's 50,000. The requirement retirement income right now, if you, well, I don't know, depending what age. You gotta talk about what at the age. If you 75, 10 million is more than enough. If you 50, 10 million is more than enough. Now, if you on your, it depends how you're spending it, and if you're gonna make that money making money for you, you don't make stupid investment. But even if you like if you make, well, let me type something right now. If you make $50,000 a year, 50K, 50K a year, more that's more than average. Let's time that by 40 years. Instead of 50 years. Say if you're 40, that will equal to $2.5 million. Now, I know every year and every decade, life got more expensive. With 10 million, and also while your money in a bank, they're probably gonna tax you depending on how you put your money, how you split it, so you don't get too much taxes. Bro, that's how much people. That's 2.5 million. That's just for you, and maybe like a decent family. So I don't know what this guy talking about, bro. I digress. Oh, 10 million is not enough. This nigga's crazy. I like you, DGG, but you don't know what you're talking about, bro. You've been rich for so long as an influencer, you really don't know how much average people make a year. Somebody that work in, not just McDonald's, I'm talking about somebody that have a regular job, like an Amazon pay people, I think, depending on the city, between 40 to 60,000, depending on the city you live. Not everybody, 6 figures is still a lot of money for a lot of people. 100,000. Maybe not LA and New York, but that's still a lot of money. Boosie now is thinking about cancel his annual Boosie Badass after getting pressure from Attorney General because they say he's using the young guy who passed away to like using his likeness and try to, you know how New Orleans, man, they've been going after, even though Boosie do a lot for New Orleans, but the government over there, man, they always try to find ways to charge him for this. That's why you see him always moving. I think he live in Mississippi, or that's why he got his house, or Atlanta or something. Because even though he love New Orleans, but they always try to find any way kind of way to try to lock him up. And this one is the latest. Just when a white attorney general care about a black young life. But I digress, man. Now I see this. I already make a video about that. I don't agree with it at all. I'm a big fan of Jasmine Crockett, right? The Texas congressman. Man, doing I guess, an LGBT award show, she was um, honoring, during her speech, she kind of make a slight remark towards the governor of Texas about being a hot wheel man, which is kind of distasteful. there's and I'm not all for like Obama when you go who they go when they go how to you go high, but I also understand when to clap back, when not to clap back. This is not about the clap back. I don't know how nowhere out of nowhere you brought that man um name into your conversation. I understand he did a lot of things that not you may not fun of when it comes to a public to your community and people a community you support. But he's been a governor for 2 terms now. You're in a red state and you know that Texas is not turning blue anytime soon. So you gotta know how to play your card right. You gotta know when to fold, you gotta know when to show. And that wasn't a good remark at all. And for like Democrats who want to gain some doing this upcoming election for local congressman senator, if you want to get Republican turning blue, vote for blue, as Trump is trying to destroy the democracy. I understand we try to get some independent and Republican voting for us. Disrespect a sitting governor, especially if you want to get white female voter to vote for Democrat. Disrespect someone with this mental situation is not gonna sit well, especially with Christian voters. They're just gonna say, okay, that's the reason we didn't vote for them. Right? You don't want them to sit instead of voting for you, they may not vote at all. So I think there's better way to like fight back without, go so low. And like I said, you gotta know when to hold, when you fold. And this one was definitely not a great remark. I know she's still pushing back because she's like one of those people who don't understand when, if you made a mistake, made a mistake. Don't try to double down on the situation. And I know she denied mocking the governor. So that's the same thing happened previously with the whole Elon Musk. We gotta sometimes try to, No, you definitely was thinking about. You said Hot Wheel. What you, bro? Okay, bro. Let's not play stupid right there. Let's not play stupid. You got caught up in in a moment. I get it, but now you try to deny it. It's just gonna look bad. But I understand you're a woman. Sometimes you get caught up in the limelight, but we got to do better than that. If you try to get people to come and vote for us 2026, man, we got to do better than that. Um,
My
So sorry about my children, guys. So we saw this video. I was looking forward to make a video about it, but let's talk about it. So this is a black father with a gay son. I didn't know the his dad stood him out, but his dad decided. His dad, first of all, is a Muslim, right? His dad decided to um take him out to Prime, and this is his mother, and who's in the background supporting them doing the picture taking before taking to the prom. Now it's kind of like awkward because you're his father. You're taking your like, it would be weird even if you were the father daughter. This is not a father daughter son, but I get it. You try to be proud of your still make your kid go to, and also you try to be a good parent. You may not but he out there taking pictures this that and the third. He got a lot of backlash, right? He got matter of fact, let me play the video first.
My husband surprised his son by taking him to the prom.
So she was pretending to cry. I guess she was crying, and it was a big deal. You know how we are in our community. We're not really in support of that. But the problem is a lot of women was supporting that, but a lot of men wasn't. Now, eventually, we found out he's also Muslim. He's stating his response was, "Look, yes, I am a Muslim, but at the end of the day, that was his response. That is my son, right?" And he didn't want, even though he didn't want to be he want to be one of the father that try to be the I guess gay out of his son, and he was also, even he don't agree with it, but he respect it because of his son. He love him. He still gotta go out there protect his son, and he doesn't want his son to do this behind his back and get hurt because he said that's how a lot of kids get hurt or get caught while out there because they try to do it behind their parents' back, and then eventually, you know what I mean, they got caught in situation. Now I understand where he's coming from, but it's one thing to like proud of your it's not to like to respect your kid's choice, but it's another thing to be like doing, man, like all dressed up trying to take your son to prime. I do not get that. Like I'm gonna support you, yes, or well, I'm not even about supporting. I'm gonna respect your choice, but I don't have to support it. And that's what he didn't understand. It's one thing to respect his decision, and you don't want him to get hurt, but it's another thing where you try to make it look like, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm not there. I don't know what would I do, like, but I get where he's coming from because he doesn't want his kid to hurt himself. He said, and but to each their own. But guys, let me know what you think about that. Do you think you can be supportive without participating in that situation? Um, leave your comment in this video. Let me know what you think. Do you think he try to be more open to his son so his son can come talk to him without hiding and try to hurt himself? What do you think about that? Leave your comment in this video. Let me know what you think. So before let me see that I think I got one more video before we head to the main video. Okay, I gotta remove this. I gotta pull out the main story. We're gonna let me see if I can. Okay, I can pull it because it's a video. Let's bring out the let's bring out a share video I'm talking about. It's in Worcester. I always gotta be careful with Worcester because bro, Worcester man get a lot of craziness to where we can get a channel talk. So this is not her. This is I guess family or friend that's crying before the 62 video. Let's watch the news and we'll talk more about that.
I have doubts if I'm going to post this because I look so bad. But if there's somebody out there and you've done a lot and you know you love people, you know you do, search your heart. Ask God to help you heal from whatever that is that's hurting you, because you have to love everybody. You have to truly love. And I think that if we fall in love with Jesus, really fall in love with him, the worst of enemies can't hurt us. I've seen people have testimonies where somebody killed their child and they prayed for that person's soul.
Good morning, everybody. It's me,
She got the
Stevie. It's my
same video. You know what I mean? Let's
birthday guest, and I just want to say thank you to everybody for all the wonderful text messages this morning and the birthday wishes on Facebook. I'm very excited about this day. I'm going to have a great day. In fact, this whole year has been the best year I've had.
My thing is, if a Christian woman who's praying, how you end up with a convicted criminal? I understand you try to get a big heart, like I said before. Bro, you telling me you're a Christian woman, you cannot find no women in the church? I know like church is 80-20, 80% women, 20% men. But you tell me see, that's what happened. There's no men in church. The few that are already they're already married, and if you was a woman that was already married, or your partner passed away, it's gonna be hard to find another person. You're gonna have to go to a grocery store. You mean you tell me you cannot find no bus driver, no man that can come clean your house, like the mailman, the sewerman, the lawman to like you keep talk to? You gotta go for a guy in jail? Poor sweet lady, man.
Consistently for 12 years. I'm so happy. So thank you for everything, and you guys have a great day too. Thanks. Bye.
This is the story of Stephanie Brinson, a 62-year-old grandmother who was strangled and killed while having an overnight, conjugal visit with her convicted murderer husband at a California prison. Her husband, David Brinson, who was convicted for killing 4 people in 1994, met her while he was in prison, married her, then killed her during a conjugal visit.
Bro, Willie, honestly, you telling me you met, bro, 4 murder? Didn't you know he killed 4 people? 4 people, he's never gonna get out. He's never, like, maybe you think because he's in jail, he's not gonna kill you? What were you thinking? Maybe because he's in jail for good sex? Because I know like black women love good sex. Well, not all of them, because some of them don't mind dating. Like, you know what? I gotta watch out what I said.
Listen to this. The death of a woman at a jail in Amador County while on a visit is now being investigated as a homicide. It happened last Wednesday at Mule Creek State Prison when 62-year-old Stephanie Diane Brinson was visiting her husband. He's an inmate there.
What led to this crime and what led this nice woman to a convicted killer? Let's find out.
Okay, I gotta stop the mute for the music. So I don't, for copyright strike, I don't want to play too much into that video because it looks like that's another content creator video. But I said that to say, you see what I'm saying? I mean, like, that's let me roll that video back. Right here. I'm gonna keep it right here. She's a very good looking a 62-year-old. You tell me you out here like that, and you could not find your a foxy cat to catch your drift? You have to go look for one in jail. Like now, you all know in the black community, there's a lot of sisters that infatuate with like so-called hood niggas, But normally, I expect that for women when they're in the 20s and or teens. But normally, like once you pass 30, you start heading 35, 40. Most women normally like move away from those kind of guys because you've been got 1 or 2 baby by them, or 3 or 4, whatever. Now you're looking for the responsible guy. How you going a grandmother at best who's supposed to be very wise, making unwise choices? A Christian at that. It's sad, man, and I'm not continue stepping into her situation, even though it's a bad outcome. But hopefully, man, I'm making this video, man, for a lot of sisters that love so-called hood guy, bro. I still see women, bro. I see that situation. Women with children will date people who been arrested for either child convicted, whatever stuff. Right. I'm like, some women are so reckless. And that's how you see a lot of things going crazy, because you see like people are going to date men with, those kind of situation, bro. People is crazy out there. Whenever somebody have a certain criminal background, especially our children, no, it's a no-no. If you would do this, you would do that. I digress, guys, man. I see too many women who doesn't want to stay single. They rather be with criminals instead of be by the goddamn self. Damn it, man. Damn it. I pay to this lady, man. RIP. So let's see what's going on in the news world. Yeah. This guy with the red hat, Mr. Dogeman. What's going on with Mr. Dogeman? What did he do today?
President Trump made a promise that he wouldn't touch Social Security, but he never promised that he would not break it. The agency has been plunged into chaos after Doge officials cut thousands of staffers with years of expertise, reassigned others, and announced requirements for in-person identity checks for millions of new and existing recipients, while simultaneously closing government offices. Just this morning, Axios reported that the Social Security Administration is rushing to cut phone services at the White House's request. Today, Frank Bisignano, the man who has been selected to oversee Social Security and a self-professed...
Bruh, I heard today, bruh, the Social Security website, because so many people are not trying to create an account because you cannot call. You got to either log into your account, you got to be in person. But the problem is a lot of places, so that's the thing going on, right? So they're closing offices and they're cutting the whole line to call. You gotta go and be in person. The problem is they're closing offices, and when you go to the offices, the very few offices that stay open, the line is super crazy because they don't just do security for retirement. They do security for new Social Security, immigration security, new birth. So they're taking all that, right? But on top of that, so what happened is, now they're overstaffed. They're over exaggerating. A few people doing multiple work instead of assign a few people for like a certain look. Like you got a group of people for retiree, a group of people for do this kind of thing. There's some people for immigration, for bruh. So they try to, and now the website for many people, bruh.
Doge person was on Capitol Hill for his confirmation hearing.
If you are confirmed in this job, will you commit to reversing these cuts so that seniors get the money that the law says they are entitled to?
What I will commit to is that I will run the agency and I will be in charge of the agency. And
so pretty much he just giving a bunch of answer without really honest about it. And we see that from judges that Trump try to get nominated. They will say one thing when they are come in front of the committee for that group, for that position, and they will say they will not do this, that, and a third, whether it is the judge, the female judge, whether it is I forgot what's his name, a lot of elected people, but they say one thing and do another.
I will look at every item you want me to look at.
Joining me now is Senator Tina Smith of Minnesota. She is a member of the Finance Committee, which questioned Bisignano today. Senator, just today, we have a headline from the Washington Post that says the Social Security Administration is breaking down. They write the Social Security Administration website crashed 4 times in 10 days this month, blocking millions of retirees and disabled Americans from logging into their online accounts because servers were overloaded. I just read to you in the open that Axios reporting. Did you hear anything today that would lead you to believe that the nominee that the Trump administration has put forth to run Social Security is going to fix it?
Absolutely not. I mean, Mr. Bisignano said, I am a Doge guy. And I take him at his word. I think that he is. I mean, what we have here is the move fast and break things mentality of Elon Musk and these tech billionaires is literally breaking Social Security. And here they are, like, firing people, closing offices at the same time that they're telling Americans that in order to do any work with the Social Security, you've got to go to an office. So I mean, you could say that this is just rank incompetence, but a lot of us are looking at this and saying it looks a lot more like sabotage.
About 47 field offices where enrollees could go and do this in-person verification, if you will, and that are listed for closure. 26 of those are expected to shutter this year. Are you concerned that not just folks in Minnesota, but people all across the country may be in danger of missing their payments this month?
We heard the Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, said, oh, you know, if my mother-in-law, who's 94, misses a paycheck, it's fine. She'll know that it's going to come the next month. Well, I mean, I've got news for Mr. Lutnick, who seems to be pretty out of touch with the life of a lot of elders in this country, which is that if they miss a Social Security check, they're missing a meal. They don't have millions of dollars sitting, who revere Social Security as one of the greatest social insurance work that we do in this country for everybody. And yet here they are taking it apart.
You know, there are folks.
Bruh, I'm telling you, that shit is crazy. Let's watch another video.
In the face of a national security breach by Trump administration officials, congressional Republicans reacted by mostly downplaying the Signal group chat scandal.
I don't think anyone should have lost their job over that because an errant number, found its way onto a dialogue between leaders. It's a mistake, but we got to correct it going forward, and they will.
It was a mistake. I'm sure he doesn't. He wishes it didn't happen. No, I believe text said it didn't happen, and if it did, it was a mistake.
I do think it was incredibly sloppy. But that being said, I think it was a mistake, and I can say for certain they're going to put protocols in place so that doesn't happen again.
The lack of concern extended to one of the administration's top law enforcement officials, FBI Director Kash Patel, at today's Worldwide Threats Senate hearing.
Director Patel, has the FBI launched any investigation of this?
Senator, I was just briefed about it late last night, this morning. I don't have an update.
I would like to get an answer by the end of the day.
Denver Riggleman and Neera Tanden are back. You got to laugh to keep from crying. Denver, to be very clear, there's a lot of focus about Jeffrey Goldberg being added to the chat, and I think that's missing the forest of what's wrong here for one tree. And before I get your thoughts, apparently Mike Waltz, the National Security Advisor, is downstairs in this building right now. He's at Fox News, on with Laura Ingraham, and we have the sound of him not taking accountability, also talking about that it's a mistake, and saying somehow Jeffrey Goldberg found his way into the group chat. Let's play it if we have it.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but of all the people out there, somehow this guy who has lied about the president, who has lied to Gold Star families, lied to their attorneys, and gone to Russia hoax, gone to just all kinds of lengths to lie and smear the president of the United States. And he's the one that somehow gets on somebody's contact and then gets sucked into this group.
So now they're blaming the
Denver.
journalists.
Mike Waltz created the group chat on Signal. I just went through but it's not just that he put Jeffrey Goldberg in there inadvertently. Isn't the bigger issue that they were so callously discussing this information on Signal in the first place?
I don't even have the words to tell you how bullshitty that answer was from Mike Waltz. Like, I don't even have the level of military language to define how stupid that answer was. Because let me tell you, I know Mike. You just don't accidentally add somebody to a Signal chat. Anybody who knows how to use Signal knows that it's actually a permission, right? Or they're already in your friends, or you've talked to them before. So my question to Mike would be, when did you talk to Jeff Goldberg last? Have you been leaking information before? Is that how he was on your Signal contacts? Because that's how you add somebody to your Signal chat. Here's the other thing. You know who like to use Signal? Proud Boys and Oath Keepers on January 6th. They like to use encrypted chats, right?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Because, you know, there's a lot of people sometimes be leaking information. Ooh.
Encrypted chats actually do work. Unless you're on phones, that could be snapshot, or you add other people to the chat in a non-secure environment. As I'm looking across this, is our allies are seeing what was on that text thread, how J.D. Vance talked about Europe, how Mike Waltz conducted himself. First of all, nobody should ever use emojis in a secure area anyway. That there's something wrong there. But the second thing is this: our allies across the entire globe right now, they're thinking this thought. It's a military thought. I need everybody who's watching this to look up this term. Here's what they're thinking. This is a Blue Falcon administration. We can't trust them. They have no idea what they're doing. Everybody that was sitting in that Senate hearing today needs to go. They have no acumen or intelligence or experience to be there. I don't again, I have military language that's popping into my head at rapid fire that I cannot say on here because we have military people saying stupid things, but you can't do this because it's disingenuous. It's wrong to tell the American people this, and to tell me that one number, we should not be worried about one sloppy number being added. One sloppy number could have told the Houthis where we were coming for time over target to actually put our pilots and other people in harm's way. Get off of that, because you have real intelligence people and real operators who know this was a absolute Foxtrot uniform. And I just think everybody needs to realize that.
Not only could adding a wrong number, when I'm thinking of all the times that I've been on Signal out at brunch, in the grocery store, out where, you know, I've got a privacy screen on my phone, but anyone could see it. This is not the forum for which you conduct very sensitive, serious business where people's lives are at stake. But there's another angle here that we haven't discussed. And the doomsday classified details is what the principal is entirely clear on leaders when there shouldn't be any after the president left there to
country, then you should actually know.
Oh my God, bro. Oh my God.
Did you know you can increase your revenue with Snapchat ads? Just ask Manscaped.
We have seen a 162% increase in revenue from Snapchat.
Elon Musk wants to eliminate Social Security. Republicans know that even cutting it outright would be massively unpopular because Social Security is one of the most successful programs in the country, if not the most successful.
We already talk about
To get around.
We are 34 hours into this. 34 hours later, what questions do you have? What do you want to know?
Well, let me start by saying the president said he said no problem. No problem. This is a big problem. It is significant. Some of our most classified and sensitive information is when we are about to conduct an operation with U.S. service members. In this case, likely off of an aircraft carrier who had ships at sea, with the Houthis are going to be attacked in Yemen by sharing information on an unsecured.
So
let's talk with President Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton. I should note, sir, you have already blasted these officials for using Signal. You say it's not as secure as secure government telecommunications, and that we shouldn't believe folks who are trying to make us think that. So what is your reaction to the CIA director defending the use of Signal by testifying this morning that Signal was loaded onto his CIA computer? It was, quote, permissible to use to communicate and coordinate for work purposes, provided that any decisions that are made are also recorded through formal channels.
Well, I'd like to know who put it on his computer and when, and why didn't they have another review? We've seen reports just a few days before this group was set up. The Department of Defense sent a memo around saying Signal was very vulnerable. I think the key point here is the United States government over decades has spent billions of dollars to create the world's most secure telecommunications capabilities. And why these senior officials, virtually all of whom are 24/7 able to get onto a secure phone, a secure video, a secure computer, why they would shift off of that for any reason to any commercial system. That's the original sin. Everything else after that just makes things worse. But why anybody would use Signal for any purpose, I can't understand. And if the argument is, well, they did it in the Biden administration, I mean, that's practically a recommendation not to do it. They just accept everything Joe Biden's administration did. That's quite an argument.
Yeah, they don't like many things that Joe Biden's administration did. That's very clear. Okay, so that's the original sin. But then the one that is causing a lot of the fallout here is Secretary Hegseth putting all of these operational details into the group chat. Should Jeffrey Goldberg, the reporter who was inadvertently added to the group chat and is privy to these details, should he publish them? He had refrained from printing them because of security reasons, but now you have administration officials minimizing those details being on this platform. Should he publish them?
Well, Tulsi Gabbard at least testified there was no classified information in the chain. So that should be a defense in court if the Justice Department were to try and prosecute Goldberg. They could ask for the information back. I think they know that it's classified. And I think, frankly, some of the information published in the Atlantic article was classified. For example, the argument it's made by several people that Europeans and Egypt, I think, were included, are going to have to pay for the outcome of the operation against the Houthis in Yemen to clear the Red Sea maritime passage. Now, I'll guarantee when they read that in European capitals in Cairo today, they said, what? So I think it's like many instances of classification, that would be classified until we actually told the governments or made it public. But when it's made public before we're prepared to do it, I think that almost certainly was classified in and of itself. The whole point of staying in the government-approved secure channels is you can say anything you want. You can talk about today's newspapers. You can talk about top secret code word information.
So that's it for today, man. Leave your comment on this video. Let me know what you think about this video. Until next time, guys. Deuces.